Hello, and thank you so much for joining us this wonderful Friday evening, likely into your Saturday morning if you're on the East Coast. We appreciate you tuning in to the AEW Rampage and WWE Smackdown post-show. It is the go home to the AEW pay-per-view, baby. We're going home to Revolution. We got a Sami and Cody face-off. Freudian slip. We got a Roman and Cody face off. We got a lot going on tonight, and we've got a lot of support from you wonderful people. I can't even begin to tell you how sincerely moved I was by the amount of support that we got Thursday. We have over 6,500 views on our ROH post show, and I think it feels like at the end of ROH there weren't even 6,500 people watching. I felt like I was one of the only ones that was hanging in there before they shut down. So thank you for your support. You can support us tonight by leaving a thumbs up on this video. It's a free way to support us. It's the easiest way to support us. You can also send in your super chats and your humper chats at humperchats.com. We get to keep a little bit more of the money over at Humper Chats. We like those even better than super chats, but we'll take it. We'll take money however you want to send it to us. We've also got a lot of great stuff going up on Fightful Select. We've got information, I guess, coming soon about a WWE talent that was looking into a possible boxing match. All sorts of crazy stuff going on. And to help me unpack all of it, I've got Alex Cardoza here with me. Alex, how you doing?
How is everyone doing? I'm coming live from Jersey today. Today I'm in Jersey. So that's why none of the extravagant backgrounds or anything, because I'm with my travel gear, friends. But I'm still doing the show.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. And before we dive in, I'm starting the show a little bit different tonight because I just couldn't let something go today. I don't want to sound like I'm burying anyone, especially somebody that has been through a great deal of trauma. But I was kind of bugged by something that I saw out there, and I'm not going to go into details, but I will tell you something about my own experience, because I feel like anything mental health related, the best place to speak from is your own experience. And when I was in college, I was going through a lot. I got really depressed, and I just been through like a decade of trauma. And what was weird was, after going through all of that, I fell apart after things started to get okay again. And it was because I had gotten out of survival mode. I started to let myself kind of feel stuff, and I couldn't just function in my life. And I didn't understand what was going on. And my dad said something really important to me at the time, because I was so confused. And if you've watched this show, you know my dad chimes in. If you watch the Tuesday show, you know he's super chatting. He doesn't even watch wrestling. He's always been supportive of me, and both my parents have, and my sister. And he said, Kate, if you had the clarity to see what was going on with you, you wouldn't have been depressed. Meaning that if I wasn't suffering from depression, I would probably be able to go out and live my life in all these ways that I wanted to or was used to being able to do. So that was so important for me to hear. And I just kept thinking today about if someone told me that I needed to exercise or eat better or just suddenly have more money, that would have been the most damaging thing I could have heard. And I just want to say that anytime we get a message that someone has been through something or is going through something, whether it's something specific or they just can't get out of bed in the morning and this brings them some sort of relief, I consider that a privilege. And everybody deals with things their own ways, but I just want people to know that, like, your way doesn't have to be any specific way. If you need therapy, if you need medication, if you need to make lifestyle changes, there's not a blanket solution to any of this. And any implication of otherwise, I just would never want anybody to feel weaker or lesser than for the way that they choose to treat having depression or any sort of mental health issue. I just want people at Fightful watching to know, like, you don't have to be anything but yourself here. Like, that's really important to me. Any stream that I'm on, I don't in general really speak for everyone at Fightful on a lot of things, but I think this is safe to say that if you need help with your mental health, there's just absolutely no shame in asking about it. And I couldn't shake it today, so I just wanted to come on. This is totally mea culpa. This is just for me. I didn't run this by Sean. I wasn't sent in any way. This is just my own experience, and I needed therapy. I needed friends. I needed my family. I needed to just cry a lot. I needed all of these things to help me get better, and everybody gets better in their own way. I'm not trying to say some of the things that were insinuated today aren't helpful. I couldn't have done any of those things with the condition that I was in. And I just don't want anybody to ever feel like there's any shame in that, because we're all just where we're at. We're all where we're at. So this is a place where you could come and just be yourself. I never want that to change. I want to get the drama out of the way. I'm not here to bury anyone. If you want to send in love and support to each other, to Alex, to me, to talk about wrestling, whatever you want to do. But it's just, that was important for me today to say off like at the top of the show. And also, if you have comments, please keep them tasteful. We're not trying to make this a place of anything other than support and love. And that's part of why I said that today. So let's get into some good and some bad wrestling today. We've got plenty of it to go after. I just felt like I had to say that. So
good for you. Good for you.
We're going to dive into some of your super supportive chats and to the wrestling tonight. Tom LaValle saying it's Friday night. You know what that means. The best bangs and the best clavicles and all of that.
Look at this. Look at this. How sexy this is. Oh my God. I've been working it out. I have like a nice trap happening. I even just for you. Look at this. You know what that is.
Cardoza. Good Lord.
I know. I'm showing it all tonight.
He is in Jersey, which is significantly colder than where he resides now.
Yeah,
and he's still bringing the
heat. I'm still showing it to you all pasty and white.
Well, you're showing skin right here for free on Fightful. You're not even OnlyFansing that. So.
No, this is a special day here. I told you I was bringing the heat. There's a lot to talk about today, a lot to unpack.
There is a lot to unpack. And Ricardo Comerciante de Pepsi saying, can I send weed over a super chat? I don't think so. And I think if you figured out that technology, you might become a millionaire. So good luck with figuring that out. And Ryan Sullivan always trolling you for us not having a theme, saying Alex needs to sing a song right now as his intro. I don't want to get a copyright strike. So
yeah, no, my vocal cords are really good, and the last thing I need to do is cost us some money that should be going into our pocket. So I'll get you guys. Don't worry about it. Next week I'm home. I have this for you. Kate's gonna be super surprised, and it's gonna be fun. Lord. Yeah.
Well, after I opened the show in kind of a heavy way, we're back to normal form with Matthew Plus saying it's Friday night. Y'all should try getting friends. You're super chatting this show. I don't know what to tell you. I'm out here getting paid. You're not getting laid.
Whoa.
My super awesome dad chiming in with a heart emoji. We've been through a lot as a family, and he's the best. So thank you, Dad, for everything, especially those words in that moment.
For sure.
Ricardo saying, be yourself. Can't be no one else. There you go. This rebel heart, right? Another day you got to give him hell. This rebel heart words to live by. I also said to bet on yourself, man. You do whatever you need to do to make you happy as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else.
I want to say something to you. You're an amazing person. Happy
Thank you. Yes,
Women's International Month and all that stuff. But here's something I got to tell you. I'm a veteran. This person's a veteran. We hold a responsibility of how we conduct and say things. Okay? And what was said and the way it was put was your belief and the way you think about how things are done. A lot of it was implied in the wrong way by this person. And the stupidity of even mentioning the thought of money is even worse.
Yeah.
Because the last thing I thought about was when I came back after seeing torture and death and body parts and everything was, oh, yeah, let me make more money because that's going to help me. But this is not about me. This is about the fact that it was just put out in a bad way. It wasn't responsible. But anyway, there's a lot of bad wrestling today. I'll lead with that.
I see Alex Pulowski is going to come on here and we're going to talk about Dominic Mysterio, and I've just sent him reeling. I think.
Can we put Dominic and Parker together?
God. He was all fired up to talk about it, and then I made it I made it so heavy off the bat, but we are going to start here with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns on the roads to WrestleMania. We have a 10-minute entrance from Cody and Roman. Nobody says anything for 10 minutes of this show. Oh my gosh, let's get to it already. But we do have this segment happening. Cody says he wants a conversation. Does he kind of need Roman's lackeys to do that? He just wants to talk. And Roman, of course, says, so what do you guys want to talk about? I popped for that. Cody kind of goes through everything that he's been through in his wrestling journey, kind of outlines the undesirable to undeniable trope, dances around, but essentially mentions All In, talks about his journey, and Roman fires back with something that I thought was great, saying, have you held this belt, though? Have you challenged for this belt? Have you main evented WrestleMania? Like, are you ready for this specific challenge? I thought was a really good way to kind of direct where this was going. He does what everybody else thought was a fantastic Dusty Rhodes impression. I thought it was pretty medium, but basically reiterating what Paul Heyman said, that Roman said that Cody didn't really exist when Dusty would talk to him, that he had championed Roman this whole time, and Cody essentially says the only way for him to exist in that case is for him to beat Roman Rhodes at Roman Rhodes. Oh no.
Wow.
I've combined them.
You know, the problem is, Kate, that technology with the has hit you through the computer when he said
has.
Yeah.
So. It has. Oh no. A lot of people really liked this, and I didn't hate it. I thought this was a solid enough segment, and it continued to kind of build out the story we were in. But this is a lot of Cody's dad.
Yes.
And it's not, it just doesn't, for me and me alone, it doesn't sniff the boots of, it doesn't sniff the boots. That's not a phrase. It doesn't lace the boots. This is wrestling.
It's hitting the sauce tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Story-wise, it doesn't even compare for me to Sami and the story that we had going. Like, and some of that is just a symptom of what they've chosen to do, right? They decided Cody was the guy. This doesn't have nearly enough time to create the kind of build that Sami was building for the past 8 months. In some ways, the story has been culminating for 2 years. They're still doing interesting stuff with it, but I just don't like that. To me, the title picture, while this was a good segment, kind of pales in comparison. And the end of this promo went a little weird for me when Cody was talking about not existing. This kind of weird at the end. A lot of people liked it. I felt it was all right. It was pretty good. I wasn't really blown away from it. What did you think of this opening segment?
So I know that you know this story has to be built out, but I put this out on the Twitter machine. I felt nothing. Unfortunately, I did not feel anything. I was not excited for it. It was
you didn't have adrenaline in your soul from this?
I did not have adrenaline in my soul, unfortunately. But the problem that took me out of it was the fact that we're always going back to the same thing. Cody's dad. And I said this when he first came back to WWE, and I said it on this very show. I don't think the right move was to come to WWE. I thought maybe, and this is just me speaking, maybe he just needed to talk to someone about all the things that happened with his dad outside of wrestling. So like a therapy session, basically. Because this is what he's like doing now, but on live television. It's just letting all this stuff out about his dad, and it's killing me. Because instead of this being about you, Cody Rhodes, making it to the top and winning this belt and being you, it's been more of a, my dad's going to be proud of me. I overdid what my dad did. Like, I felt like maybe now it's not about Cody anymore. It's about that.
A little, I can see that. An over-reliance on Dusty a little much.
Yeah.
It's been a lot about my dad and my injury and not a ton about Cody and the things that have leaned into Cody specifically, we've kind of heard already, right? The undesirable, the undeniable stuff. So I hear you on that. I really did love Roman with the, so what do you guys want to talk about? That did make me laugh quite a bit. I appreciated that because I hate that line. And Cody Rhodes sincerely can't stand people doing impressions of his dad. And I think Roman intentionally kind of, let me see if I can get up a good Dusty Rhodes impression here.
He got it off.
He
had
did.
The tongue even articulated correctly, so he can get that lift, baby. you know?
Yeah, I think that was another layer more than I probably realized on the surface until I had heard from some other people and seen articles about that circulating of that was like a strategic move from Roman. That wasn't just a part of his promo. So certainly not bad, just not bloodline. Oh my God, edge of my seat stuff for me. But we've got some more.
Okay, no, seriously. This is what happens.
I love this.
Cody Rhodes shows up like the district manager coming in for a training session.
His clip tie.
Little tie clip.
This
little tie clip that he's got. I'm here. I'm important. Look at me. I'm important. And then Roman basically says the exact same thing that Paul Heyman said 3 weeks ago. And then Cody Rhodes says, well, now I super mega double have to beat you at WrestleMania. And people were like, that was a great segment. Great segment, huh, people? Great segment. By the way, Roman's impression of Dusty, like a B- C+ at best.
See, everybody was popping for it, but I think everybody pops for a Dusty Rhodes impression, and I don't think it was that good.
All right, now fade into the background. I was never here.
Goodness. Oh no. With unbelievable synchronicity, Alex and I always go to add and remove him from stream like at the same time and always tend to accomplish the opposite of what we're actually trying to accomplish. But we got some more love and some more chats coming in. Robert Lyle saying, thank you for sharing, Kate. You're welcome. Been dealing with long COVID. So is my sister for the past 2 years. Everyone loves to chime in with their 2 cents when they don't know the journey you're on. We heal and deal in our own way and time. Healing and dealing.
I like that. Yeah.
Anything Ric Flair said, that's even better. So that's exactly it. Like it's the mandate that this is how you cure your mental health.
Way better than nagging and banging.
Instead of this is what worked for me perspective, which is where I always try to come from. Just a mea culpa. But Kim Gray saying, love from your Mississippi friend. Thank you, Kim Gray. Always so supportive of us. So nice. Matthew Plus saying, wish you existed like Cody did. Ha ha, Matthew Plus. You're stuck with me. You're getting more stuck with me. It looks like I picked up a Thursday night show. So
oh, damn.
You don't like me. Fightful's going to be a tough place for you to exist. But Broadway Joe saying, those crooks, Keith and we're going to save that one. We got Rampage talk coming down the line, but a huge humper chat from Trey Cash. Thank you so much saying, when I go back and watch old Roman promos when he was the big cringe, but the tribal chief Roman is one of the best promos in the game. Who would have thought that he had it in him? He was truly God mode tonight. I really did like Roman's half of this a lot better. It was kind of a reiteration of what was said by Paul Heyman a few weeks ago, but he's really settled into this cool guy, methodical assassin thing. Like he's a really, really good expression of that character. So
sure.
We will move along to Rhea Ripley defeating Liv Morgan. I really liked this match a lot. It was really nice to have wonderful things to say here because we haven't had like an abundance of women's wrestling on WWE television, especially on the SmackDown side. We obviously get a lot more of it on Raw. I guess it's just SmackDown because we get a lot of it on NXT too.
Yeah.
Not the best stories, but we get a lot of screen time for the ladies. Rhea beats Liv with her awesome cloverleaf thing here. Some really, really fun spots in this. Her planting Liv off the top ropes was so good. I can't remember what she was going for, a drop kick or something maybe here, but Rhea just being like, nah, and planting her was great. I feel like Liv Morgan's come a really long way. I feel like she finally has a character that she's kind of settled into a little bit after they've gone through a little bit of a reinvention wheel with her. And I said this from the beginning, when she was given the title, she hadn't had a singles match that was probably longer than like 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. So to see her progress has been really, really rewarding. And she's getting really, really awesome. I know Alex Pulowski, who was on here a little bit ago and will, I'm sure, be on here to talk to us about Dominic Mysterio again, much to my delight, has said, I think she'd be a great next runner-up for Asuka if Asuka were to take the title from Bianca. And boy, oh boy, I agree with that, Alex. What were your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, no, I talk a lot about how the matches in WWE for the poor women have kind of gone back to the old 3-minute rule. But this one was good. Like you mentioned, I think Liv has found something that she's really happy with. And I think that the whole punishment thing where she really likes to take punishment in and wants to fight and really get in people's faces, this character has really like progressed in such a great way, and adding a little bit of crazy to it. Like when she's talking in an interview and she's like, "Mwah, I love you, bye," and just kind of like leaves, and you're like, what just happened? Like, you love pain? Okay, cool. And Rhea's just a beast, man. There's not much that you can say about her. And both of them in the ring worked really well together. There's times that you can tell when sometimes there's not a lot of chemistry between people, or like they're just trying to do things in the ring. But damn, they beat the crap out of it. Like, she wanted Rhea to throw her around, and like the spots outside of the ring. Like, it was really good.
She really does, and they had that tag run together too, so they're familiar working with each other. I kind of wish commentary had delved a little bit more into that. I didn't hear it, at least. I might have missed it, but they didn't really talk about the fact that they had worked together for so long. But Matthew Plus saying Lexus looks like he's staring at himself on screen. I have 2 screens, and I use one for everything because I'm apparently.
Well,
I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's different. I'm on a small computer screen, so
the mobile setup.
Yeah, I'm listening to Kate, but I'm watching, old WCW Nitro on the other.
Over some stuff on SmackDown tonight, I wouldn't blame you, but not this. Michael Dammit saying the little girl that cried after Liv Morgan lost got to meet Liv after the show.
No way.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so
Liv is
cool.
the best. Yeah, she had her Ms. Girl moment, but like sad instead of angry. But very encouraging to see tonight. Really, really liked what we got out of Liv and Rhea, and Liv really continuing just to progress every time she's in there. She's awesome. Largely credited with being one of the hardest working women and just wrestlers in the company. So
from Elmwood Park, New Jersey. I don't know if you knew that.
I did know that. The Joyzy girl in the house. Yeah, we love it.
I was just kidding. I know you know that. But
I do.
Just the way that Samantha really like elongates from Elmwood Park.
Yeah. This was my low point of the show of the year. I know I was just talking about being depressed in college, but maybe of my life. Dominic and Santos Escobar. Oh no. We got a quick promo, but Santos saying that Ray should have clocked Dom last week, and I was like, yes, I certainly agree with that. He doesn't know why he didn't. Santos doesn't have a problem doing that, and if Dominic wants to do something about it and is a man about it, he'll be in the ring. Knew what was going to happen here. Hated every second of it. This ultimately ends with Dominic pulling breast knuckles out of his boots. The ref is yelling at him while Rhea Ripley hits the riptide. That part was awesome. Back in the ring, Dom hits a not great frog splash to win this. Santos Escobar is like one of the best wrestlers in the world. His work on NXT, which was a difficult environment to stand out in general, much less when you have a character and not a gimmicky character, which to me Santos Escobar always has. Like, he was just awesome, and Legado was an awesome stable. And I had so many high hopes for when they got called up, because there's a natural story. You know, you could do the Bloodline versus Legado, like a family versus family thing. You could do Imperium versus Legado. There's so many directions you could have gone with when you're building up these stables. Santos Escobar has this incredible match against Ricochet that's hidden away on FSN or whatever, whichever taping that was. An amazing main event. Then he's kind of like out here losing to Dominic Mysterio, who, while well positioned on the card, just isn't there in the ring. And for me, it's frustrating because people have taken to the creative around him, and I do think the creative's gotten better, but his execution of that creative isn't better. And I don't feel like people have said to me that they feel like Dominic has come a really long way. I don't see it. I don't see like the frog splash tonight doesn't look any better to me than it did a couple years ago. His 619 last time I saw that didn't look great. And if you're gonna have this huge match with your dad, you should probably know how to do at least your fake or your real dad's moves really, really well. The Three Amigos is a tough one, so I'm not expecting that. But to see Santos Escobar losing here just bummed me out, because Santos Escobar is someone who should be like in that mid-card title picture on the way up. I would love to see him versus Gunther. My goodness, that could be so much fun. But I'll tell you something about Alex Pulowski. He has a frame like this that says professional curmudgeon that we haven't gotten up yet. But if there's anything for him to come on and be a professional curmudgeon about, it's Dominic Mysterio. And we wanted to invite him back on here to talk about Dominic.
Alexis, my best friend, my twin.
Hey, all right, easy. I can take you off the stream.
I know.
Wow.
You tweeted about how maybe they should just stop overusing Eddie Guerrero as this thing, a crutch for, hey, is there a Latin guy in this match? Let's mention Eddie Guerrero 7 times. And what they should probably do is maybe create a new Latino legend for them to mention. And how can they do that when they have one standing right in front of them in Santos Escobar that could easily be pushed and become the new Latino legend for this company? It's right there. He's fantastic in the ring. He can talk. He's resplendent in the suits that he wears. He's got an awesome faction backing him up. You could even repackage and add the Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza to it. Make it a 5-man group. Make it awesome with Zelina Vega next to him. Bring up Elektra Lopez. So there's 2 beautiful women next to him. They would be impeccable. You could do awesome things with them. What are you going to do, though? You're going to have him lose to the worst wrestler on the roster, probably the worst wrestler in the business. And the reason you're going to have him do that is because the worst wrestler in the business's girlfriend hit her finisher on him on the outside. And listen, I love Rhea Ripley. I love seeing her do the riptide to people. You cannot tell me that in the eyes of the people running this company, that when a woman hits her move on a dude to cause him to lose, it says just as much negatively about the dude in their eyes as it does positively about the woman. So when Rhea Ripley, whom I love, and I love seeing her hit the riptide on people, when she does it to Santos Escobar, you can hear the death knell. It's faint, but you can hear the death knell on Santos Escobar. This sucked in so many ways, especially because, wouldn't it? Honestly, if Dominic could hold his own at anything, and he actually got an honest-to-God victory over Santos, fine. I wouldn't agree with it, but fine. But he's so terrible at everything. They were like, well, Jesus, it's not believable for Santos to lose to a move by Dominic. What if he loses to a move by Rhea Ripley?
That just also made me really want to see Rhea Ripley versus Santos Escobar so bad. And we can't do that because we're not going to get intergender wrestling on television. But
there was a moment that encapsulates everything that's wrong with Dominic. Everything. Where Santos is in prime position to be 619'd. He's up against the ropes laying there. And Dominic is there with him and runs. I won't say runs. Jogs? No. Walks to the far end of the ropes and touches them. He doesn't bounce off them, touches them, and then walks over to Santos, still in prime position to be 619'd, and kind of I guess, puts his knee in his back. The move you're looking for, Dominic, is to sprint to the ropes, sprint, and then stop short right behind him, and then kick him in the back.
Deprive the crowd spot.
Yes, the crowd should be thinking you're going to 619 him, but I'm not going to give that to you. I'm a heel. And Eddie would do this all the time. Andrade's the master of this kind of thing, of making the crowd think you're going to do something that, even though they don't like you, will be spectacular, and they'll pop for it, but you're not going to give it to them. I don't know what any of this was, but you could tell that was the thing they told him they told him, hey, do this. And he's like, I don't even know what that is. This week, they had him on Sheamus's workout video series, which is it's his prison workout. He was in kayfabe. He was in county jail for 5 hours. So it's his prison workout where he's wearing Crips colors, but throwing up the blood sign with Sheamus in a promotional picture for the damn thing. It would be all this would be so ridiculous, except for the fact that the most ridiculous thing is that we've seen Dominic hasn't improved his body in 3 years on the main roster. He doesn't have a workout. What even?
My gosh, Alex has self-destructed.
I think he's angry.
I think he's a really big
supporter of the Dom.
Pro Wrestling Podcast saying, y'all talking about our Lord and Savior Dominic Mysterio. This was really fun because I got to do the ROH review yesterday and everybody was in there trolling Reg about Bray Wyatt, and now people are going to come in here and troll Alex about Dominic Mysterio, which is just great. One healthy photo saying, guys, the Shamrock Shake is back. Does that mean Dom can wrestle all of a sudden? Spoiler, no, it doesn't. Oh, man. Dude, Andrade should have been a bigger deal than he was in WWE. He should have been a bigger deal than he was in AEW. It's hard for me to disagree with anything that Alex just said. It's very easy for me to agree with it. The Amish electrician saying we need a Dom is a sub t-shirt. Now when he comes out, you know the scene in The Wedding Singer where Adam Sandler's all sad and is like, holiday, celebrate. I'm kind of like booyaka, booyaka, with like that same, energy. So I'm just hoping we can get through this WrestleMania thing.
I'm glad he referenced my tweet because it's true. They have no Latino representation. They have no one to fall back on. Every single damn fight that a Latino's in is always something about Eddie Guerrero. It's always a frog splash. Like, I know. At this point, if you were to bring me in as a fan to be like, oh my God, here's Alex Cardoza. And you know, he used to watch the late, great Eddie Guerrero. And now he's going up for a frog splash. You know who used to know the best frog splash? Like, come on.
Did you know Eddie Guerrero is at least number 7 in his top 10 wrestlers of all time?
Golly, it's just sad, man, because I love him. I love what they're doing with Escobar. Like, he's such a great talent. Like, I loved what they did with him in NXT. The presentation, everything about him is superstardom. You want to make money off of him, off of toys, make mass and all that stuff, because we know that's what WWE, is a business. So they got to make some type of revenue off of these guys. Do it, because the Latino representation will come in strong, man. Strong.
A lot of chat about this. Thank you, Alex Pulowski, for that. We got Ryan Ben 666 saying, storyline is dead to my Latin friends. Too unbelievable. I thought about it. They have telenovelas, which would go crazy. Waited too long for Ray to react. I don't know if the injury threw off the timing of this at all, but it did feel like they've been waiting to do this the entire time Dom's been on the main roster, and now it feels rushed a little bit somehow. Shane Schaefer saying, can we get financial partners involved to have Alex run his own wrestling company or have a company hire him? Literally always agree with him. I agree with him most of the times, and even on the rare occasions I disagree with him, I can't say it's because any of his wrestling thinking is bad. It's just a matter of taste sometimes on occasion, or I think it's fair to say that Alex is pretty critical, and sometimes I'm just not as critical, but it's never because I'm like, nah, he's just off base about that. So I would be a fan of it. If anybody wants to pony up like $9 billion so that Alex can buy WWE, you can support us with super chats and humber chats. We don't generally see a cut of it, but I think if $9 billion came in,
also
we'd have a leg to stand on, and asking Sean for that.
Make things, I understand it's entertainment and you want to build off stories, but it's been long enough. In a Hispanic family, if I ever dared, or any person in a Hispanic family ever dared to talk to their parent like that, I'd probably be missing half of my jaw. I'd be a bionic Alex talking out of an electric box. Just letting you guys know.
Kim Gray saying Ray Dom is so unbelievable because no parent would put up with being treated like that by his son. My kid would never. There you go.
Especially in a, oh my God, a Hispanic household. Forget about it.
Our resident heel Matthew Plus saying Vicky drives Dom to the ring in Eddie's lowrider. I think Alex Pulaski said this the other day. I don't hate that. Like, I don't hate that idea.
Can you imagine?
They gotta try. They gotta do something.
She's done over there.
She is done in
Select.
I do think, regardless of if that's the play, she should come back into this picture because she could just add something that I think is probably desperately needed into it.
For sure.
There could be a really fun, like, mommy versus mommy spot, like her saying, who's
I
your
can hear,
actual
excuse
mommy?
me.
Excuse me. Come
roaring
back
night
down,
2 of WrestleMania. Oh, no, she's not. She can't because she has a contract till July.
They might, if they're wrapping up anyway, I would hope that they'd let her out for it. But I do, if you've ever heard Vicky Guerrero talk about Eddie in interviews, it's really, really heartwarming. Really, really heartwarming. It would be nice. It would be nice. G bro saying there's a SmackDown on Shamrock Day does shake. My goodness, we have the proper celebratory moment for it. I appreciate it.
Wait, it's really back? It came out today?
I guess so.
I mean, I can't drink that thing. It'll probably give me 3 heart attacks at the same time. So
yeah, to be old again. But we are going to move along to Drew McIntyre being interrupted by half the roster, and what started as something that I thought was really cool, and then just spiraled into something kind of lame, unfortunately. But we have the super fun stuff up front with Sheamus and Drew. Sheamus essentially, Drew coming out to go after that IC title, and Sheamus being annoyed by that, saying that Drew knows how much the title means to him, and he's upset that Drew would challenge for it.
Backstabber.
Backstabber after backstabber. But Drew says that the truth hurts and that Sheamus had a shot twice and didn't win. Sheamus isn't his parent and he doesn't need his permission. And Sheamus saying that he thought they were brothers. But then starts to fall apart a little bit. LA Knight comes out to a huge pop, which is awesome. I'm glad to see that guy being as over on the main roster as he should be. He's kind of one of the few people from NXT that's moved up and been able to sustain that despite some of the things that they've thrown his way. But really, really good stuff from him. Not in the right place, though, in my opinion. I think Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew, or Drew versus Sheamus leading up to a rematch with Gunther is a super fun idea.
Yeah.
LA Knight, he wants his WrestleMania spots. New Day come out to troll him about that. I feel like if that was going to somehow lead to a 4 corners match of Big E in there with Sheamus, Drew, and Gunther, and it was just big meaty men slapping meat. Big E has this incredible moment. That would still stink because I really want Sheamus to have that, but Big E coming back to win the IC title. You got New Day versus Imperium. That all makes sense. That's all clean and good. However, you got LA Knight in this picture. You have Karrion Kross come out and join this picture. What the heck is going on?
I know.
This is just one of those revolving door promos that I don't like, because it feels like, oh, we forgot about these guys. We're just gonna spill half the locker room backstage, and hope that they can all make sense out of this. What did you think of this promo? I liked where it started and didn't like where it finished.
I was, once Sheamus came out, I was like, okay, here we go. It's about to really go back to these two beating the crap out of each other immediately. I was like, all right, well, that's fine. I mean, you gonna go hit that well again, which is, I don't think it's empty yet. I think the promo was really put together well, like the way they spoke about, like, we're not family, we're not friends, this and that. So then when LA Knight came out, I was like, oh, well, okay, why are they okay? Like, but then the New Day came out, and I was like, now it's completely off the rails. I was thinking, okay,
you were like, we need someone in high fashion to come out.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, 100%. I was thinking more, and I wrote this. It's so funny that you said that, because I did write this on Twitter. I'm like, do you guys remember when wrestlers used to come out in jorts and a leather vest? Now they come out with these shirts, like they don't, Karrion Kross is out with like a Hawaiian
back when
t-shirt.
Wrestlers were man.
Yeah, back when wrestling were man. I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe this will lead to a really cool WrestleMania ladder match for the IC title, right? IC title, ladder matches, duh, they go together. But no.
Except they had a moment to do a Scott Hall one, and they didn't. So that was weird. They kind of missed the boat on that. They should have made a memorial one there.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's just no. It just did, the whole thing felt clunky, with Karrion Kross just staring off into the distance. I don't know what was happening. His music, I think, was still playing somehow. I don't know. I don't understand. Like, I said this in the top of the show. I don't think there was a lot of bad wrestling today. I just think there was a lot of bad decisions being made today on wrestling programs.
Well played. And we didn't even have Jeff Jarrett on screen.
Golly.
So.
Oh,
hey.
Hey.
What is Karrion Kross?
No one knows.
What is he? He come out tonight looking like he was like the bad guy in a direct to DVD movie about competitive underground blackjack. like what are we doing with him? I don't understand. I don't understand. Like as soon as it was like, oh, Drew versus Sheamus versus Gunther, that's a perfect built-in story.
Yeah.
3 great workers. They're gonna beat the shit out of each other. This is a great Mania. LA Knight, I love you. You're not wanted here. Go. Why is both members
not
of
here.
the New Day out here? No, Karrion. No, just no.
My God.
No. Like, leave it to WWE to tease us with a perfectly built, a story baked in to its core between 3 guys we want to see punch each other as hard as they can, and then keep adding things to the soup until it becomes inedible.
Alex, here's the kicker. You said it right off the top of your comments there. 3 dudes, 3 European nations fighting for an IC title.
Yeah.
Duh. It writes itself.
It's far too easy.
Do you see why I put you 2 on the other sides of each other? I don't know if I like this buddy stuff going on. All right.
I'm sorry.
You're my Friday co-host.
We have to be separated.
We can both put our hand on you around your back. There you go, like this.
I don't like it. You go to your respective corners.
Look, we're both hugging. You see?
Oh, all right.
So you're the meat in an Alex sandwich.
No.
Wow.
Hey, speaking of meat, thanks for the segue, Alex. We got Bluechew read, pretty babies, and now I'm gonna play it.
Oh, God.
It's the blue brand, and you know what that means. Bluechew.com. If you're looking to do it in front of a crowd, you don't want that performance anxiety when you're gonna go have sex. Bluechew.com brings you the first chewable with the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. But you know what? It gets rid of all the awkward talks and conversations besides this one. You don't have to go to the doctor's office. You don't have to wait in line at the pharmacy. You work with their licensed medical providers. They find the right active ingredient for you, and it ships straight to your door. And when you get the package, it's not going to say, "Sup, wiener pills." It comes in a discreet package, so your package no longer is discreet. It's not just for people with ED or problems. It's about that confidence. You want to perform at your peak. And how about this? Maybe you're starting to travel more. Maybe you're on the road more. You're spending more money. Not with your first shipment of Bluechew. You get it free when you use the code FIGHTFUL. Just pay $5 shipping. That's how we keep the mailman hush hush. $5 shipping is all it takes to get your first shipment and get that confidence. Maybe it's been a while after the pandemic and you're looking to get back out there. Get back out there with Bluechew.com. Code FIGHTFUL. I forgot to hit the stop button, so here we are. Bluechew.com, code FIGHTFUL.
I'm gonna have to order myself some of those wiener pills.
Go for it.
I want to play that ad in like a sex ed class. Like, just hey,
A sponsored sex ed class.
like talk about sex. I'm like,
and it's Sean in his old house.
Yeah,
for some reason. I'm into it.
Big eye staring at you. It's just
I'm
like I'm not uncomfortable at all.
I just like there's no way to do a read like that where it's ever gonna be like super comfortable. So Sean was like, I'm just gonna lean in. And I respect it.
I respect it too. Wiener pills.
I thank you for the segue. Louis saying that Karrion looked like a yoked Waylon Mercy. Oh, that's so funny. We get a quick interview from Gunther after this, basically saying that it's a disgrace that someone like him has been kept waiting for a WrestleMania opponent. And darn it, if I don't agree. I've thought like 6 different people were going to be his opponent so far. I thought we might get Brock Lesnar versus Gunther, which would have been incredible. But no, we're getting this now. Gunther's only concerned about finding a worthy opponent. He wants to battle at Mania for this prize and this great sport. He's the ring general, damn it. So we get that. That was pretty good. He's doing the best he can with what he's been given or what he's been not given. We have a quick match here from Tegan Nox versus Shayna Baszler. Natty out there, the boat in Tegan Nox's corner. Ronda Rousey, of course, and Shayna Baszler's. This is quick, but Tegan does get some offense in, though not a lot. Armbar from Baszler. Nox taps out. Clearly building to this tag title defense victory. I'm assuming at WrestleMania. My guess is that Shayna and Ronda walk out as the victors there. I don't see Becky and Lita holding it past Mania, but they said, we're not going to give you Becky and Ronda. We're going to give you Becky +1 and Ronda +1. Any thoughts on this match?
I'm just so lost with what they're doing with them, especially with Ronda. Like, at this point, she's just, I don't even know what she's doing anymore. You know?
Yeah.
An arm for an arm. She's like, an arm. Last week it was Skittles. This week, an arm for an arm. Break her arm. Like, okay, cool. We will.
Just a messy.
Why does she have a broken arm? Why does Ronda have a broken arm? Even if it's kayfabe. I don't understand any of this.
See? He agrees with me.
Maybe Shayna broke her arm. Maybe it's like some Blackpool combat stuff going on.
Also, apparently we're not getting this 7-man ladder match. We're just getting this crap next week.
Oh, yep. There it is. See? Yep.
See, but it's a qualifier, so I like that. Like, if we can get Sheamus or Drew in there, then we
look
get
at
back
Karrion
to
Kross. What is he? You're right. Is he a biker? Is he the devil?
He's a bouncer at a skeevy LA nightclub.
Is he a tarot
he's a
card reader?
Some kind of club.
LA Knight too. Why does he have that vest on? I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. LA Knight is giving me like Attitude Era vibes, though. I actually don't hate that for him.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, I would love to go on a date with that gentleman, but I like for him, I'll take it. Alex just comes in and puts a graphic on my screen and then
he leaves.
But he did flip us back, so thank you for putting.
He's a biker devil
in our rightful positions. The one good thing is there's only one story that they ever tell with the women's tag titles, and that's dissension and splitting. I've wanted Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler for a really long time. If this gets us to that, I'll be happy. But Shayna Baszler, in my opinion, just deserves the world. I adore her. I think she's one of the most kick-ass women's wrestlers of all time.
Great talent, man. Great talent. Wasting away. Like, she should be holding a championship for a while and going through the women's division, which isn't a lot right now, but kind of just put her through the ringer. You know what I'm saying? And then kind of like, you know what Jamie Hayter's doing with Britt Baker, which that's going to come sooner than later to an end. That's what should have happened with Shayna Baszler and Ronda.
That would have been really fun if they built that out in a non-title capacity, or even for a title shot, but one of them turned on the other.
Yeah, one of them turned right. Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. Alex, you mentioned earlier you got your clavicles in shape, right?
Goddamn right, you want them?
You've been working out.
Oh yeah.
Have you been pulling up your pants, Alex?
Twice.
Doing the muscle man dance?
Just stop it.
What is happening on my television screen?
I'm lost.
We have a Bobby Lashley promo. We get a recap of what happened on Raw, which wasn't too great to begin with. And I don't think this is the fault of Bobby Lashley, and I don't think it's the fault of Bray Wyatt, but you can come into our ROH stream and troll Reg about it and say that it is. Bobby basically says that Bray has been telling him to run for a few weeks now, and Bobby Lashley doesn't run from anybody. And since that didn't work, Bray's just been playing these games. That all feels like weakness to Bobby Lashley. If Bray has a problem with him, he should come see him face to face. That would be more believable if a Muscle Man dance video didn't have Bobby Lashley seething on Raw. It kind of makes me feel like the mind games have been working. You had Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley on a silver platter with an adequate build, not a pit stop on the way to Roman Reignsville. You had Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar with time. You had Brock Lesnar around to build this appropriately, and instead you are giving us Omos and
don't poop on that match.
Brock.
That match could slap.
I'll kick you off the stream. I've got another Alex in the bullpen. Okay, I got another Alex. He's waiting. He's just waiting to kick you off for that one. I don't know why you pivot away from something that people have been wanting to have an adequate build for a really long time. Kind of feels like a retread a little bit, but if you put Bobby Lashley over here and give this 10 minutes for two behemoths who can do stuff that guys this size should not be able to do in the middle of a 2-night WrestleMania, do you know how much fun that would have been? Also, what the hell happened with the rest of the Hurt Business? I love Shelton Benjamin. I love Cedric Alexander. Put him on my dang screen. This is such a bummer to me. Bobby Lashley did his best to try and save this the best he could. It's too late in the game for it. It's too weird. The Uncle Howdy stuff is in the mud. We, of course, get Uncle Howdy coming out to attack him. I don't know if it's Jay White. I don't know if it's Bo Dallas. I don't know who it is. But unfortunately, at this point, it's hard for me to care. And I'm not overwhelmingly pro or anti-Bray. If you've watched the show enough, you know that I've always liked it when I felt like I didn't know what was happening. I've never liked it when I felt like they didn't know what was happening. We are firmly in column B at this point. So I just I'm bummed because I want to be rooting for this. I want to be rooting for stuff that even when it's not my taste, I know is good for pro wrestling. Bray Wyatt kind of falls into that category. Spooky stuff overall, not super for me. Great for pro wrestling because for some people, that's the pinnacle of pro wrestling. There's stuff that Bray does that can only exist kind of in a pro wrestling context. This ain't it for me. I think this ain't it for Bobby Lashley, which is super a bummer. Any thoughts on this?
Man, let me tell you something. Bobby Lashley's such a...
Let me talk to you, Alex.
Let me talk to you. Yeah. So why are we wasting what could be the last couple years of Bobby Lashley's wrestling career on dumb, gimmicky...
You can say ASS, you're allowed.
Yeah, dumb ass gimmicky poop. Okay? Like they've been wasting it on...
gimmicky S.
Because he should be in fights with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar should be coming in with a tank at WrestleMania and blowing up the ring as opposed to with a bulldozer to flip it over, right? Like I want to see that type of anger and two meaty men beating each other in a ring. That's what I want to see. I really do. And because you're wasting away a lot of the time that Bobby Lashley has left. And, you know, we don't see it. We're kind of seeing, you know, Bobby Lashley comes and goes, you know, like he doesn't wrestle every week or whatever. But to me, I want to see more meaningful things coming out of him. And I'm sorry, this whole Bray Wyatt thing, I don't think the wrestling business is for him anymore. I think he needs to become a filmmaker. I think he should go work with Rob Zombie and do horror films because this is maybe where he's geared to want to be at. Because in professional wrestling, you said it correctly. This is way worse than muddy. This is all over the place. And I cannot follow it. I don't know if it's intentional that he doesn't want people to follow it, but it's making no sense. And I am disengaged as a fan with it.
Yeah, I feel like it had a really clear track and then it didn't. And to me, that's usually a sign of creative and not performer. Just a guess. I've never... Just a guess. Everyone is like, oh, I get it a lot of like, oh my God, she must know something that Sean... No, I don't. Sean doesn't tell me anything. The only time Sean would tell me things is when we were about to go on stream and news broke and now he doesn't work Friday. So I know nothing. But it feels like
you would never like...
Bray came in with a super... But sincerely, though, think about that. That guy was like, I'm going to put up QR codes with incredibly detailed pieces of the story and make fans engage with them in a way that they hadn't really before. We saw a brief Zoe Stark thing on NXT with it. But, like, he was using every device of storytelling that you possibly could. He had a very clear vision. This obviously felt like it was headed toward Bray Wyatt versus Uncle Howdy. And then they threw this wrench in it. And it feels like it's not recovering right now.
No, it was good for a certain amount of time. You know what? A lot of people have had problems with the Bray Wyatt character and even working with him, you know, in storyline and trying to do things in the ring. I know if it's been mentioned with the whole thing, Brock might not have wanted to work with him or something or other like that. Like we don't know where that's going, but it is very hard because even that whole LA Knight thing, it just discombobulated everywhere to me. I lost touch with it. I didn't understand what was happening. And even now with this Bobby Lashley thing, I don't know. What are we're gonna get a gimmicky match at WrestleMania, but you know.
Yeah, that makes me nervous too about what are we actually going to get at Mania, because it feels somewhere in the middle. Now it feels like a traditional match doesn't really work, but something too gimmicked out is going to feel too gimmicky. Like now I don't know, because there's just no real story there, unfortunately. But also Uncle Howdy shouted like a maniac. Luis thinks that means it's a sign that it's Bo. Very well could be, and kind of should be, in my opinion.
have no idea who it is.
It's got to be Bo Dallas. I'm hoping they have a match at SummerSlam if they're not going to do
not allowed
that.
to say. But the funny thing is, behind the curtain, I'm texting Kate everything.
Oh,
I'm the leaker.
Blowing up. He's the leak. Watch out, Wall Street Journal.
I am the leak.
So in this episode, we have a through line of the bloodline that was pretty well done, leading to Sami and Solo. Some fun stuff here after the Roman promo. We kind of have some back and forth with him and Jimmy that was decently done here. Jimmy saying that Roman asking Jimmy to kind of check in on Jay and see what the deal is, and Jimmy saying that Roman said that he needs more time to think, and Roman said, "Oh, really?" And Jimmy said, "Nah, he said to leave him alone," which I liked that he was trying to cover his ass. That was pretty good. Roman getting fed up. He said he's getting frustrated, and he was like, "Not with him, with you," to Jimmy. Roman says Sami needs to be dealt with tonight, but if Jay isn't back next week, it isn't Sami's fault. It's Jimmy's fault, after saying none of this was an issue before Sami came along, but supposed to take care of Sami tonight. That should clear the way. If Jimmy can't get Jay back, not great. So well done, well executed. Just kind of like quick little segments in this, which I appreciated. They're good with those, with this storyline. I feel like when it's just like less than a minute backstages, Paul Heyman's usually making some goofy face. That works for me. And then we get to our main event with Solo Sikoa and Sami Zayn. Jimmy Uso, of course, there to cause shenanigans.
Always.
Andrew Cool saying, Jey Uso, new tribal chief and universal champion. That would be a fun way to go. I would probably like that better than the Cody stuff. And that's not a knock on Cody. That's just a knock on what we've gotten so far with this story. But this was a really good match. Like, Solo's been extremely protected. He looks incredibly menacing. We got a lot of really hard-hitting spots in this match. It felt personal. We have, at the end of it, Jimmy pulling Solo Sikoa away from a haluva kick, and Solo follows with a Samoan spike to get the pin. Post-match, Jimmy and Solo are beating down Sami, set up for that chair-assisted hip attack. Say that 10 times fast in the corner. Jimmy pausing, and Solo wants to do it himself. Sami gets the chair and whacks Solo with it, though, because that took so much time, and hits a haluva kick to Jimmy, kind of running him off, running into the crowd to end this. Sami finding a way is fun, even without a partner. I hope this is going where we think it's going. If it's not, that's kind of going to be like double disappointment for me. If this is the Usos turning on each other and Kevin Owens and Sami not really gelling at some point, that's going to be a bummer for me. If they build this out into the tag match that we thought was coming, I think that could be really cool. But decent enough go-home segment. I want to see Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. But from what they presented to me, this was pretty all right. What were your thoughts on our closing to the show here?
Yeah, good match, man. Solo's a beast. I freaking love Solo so much.
Baby Umaga.
He is Baby Umaga, 100%. He embodies like current generation wrestling in the family, right? With like how everyone is with his brothers and his cousin, but takes a little bit of, Umaga into it and just turns it into this incredible character. Like, you see him in the street, he's believable.
Yeah, you're crossing the street.
You're crossing the street because I'm not taking a Samoan spike in the ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm moving on.
And if you need to give a Samoan spike in the Bluechew, never mind. Go ahead.
Wow. I just ordered it. No, I'm just.
It's midnight. It's midnight.
Yeah, it's past 12.
We're getting saucy after dark.
I love it. So yeah, man, not a bad match. We love quickies here. on the Friday post show. So I felt like this was a quick match. It was just that. A hell of a kick, because hell of a kick, guys. I don't know if you knew that.
It was.
Yeah. He continues to find a way. At the end felt a little muddy for me, just because like you can hear the Uso tell him, "Are you good?" Like you could hear it on camera. Like, no, why did they wait?
That was John Cena levels of loud, yeah.
As he was trying to put the chair on him, he goes, "Are you ready?" I was like, "No, I don't want to hear that." But just the way.
But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, the way he got up and kind of like threw the chair, like it felt like it took a little too long to put together. But other than that, I mean, I don't know how else. You still got a while before WrestleMania, so how else is he going to continue to battle out of these matches, and how are you going to bring Jay into it? Like there's still a lot of storytelling to be told. So I'm hoping they put this all together, Kate, package it up real nice, shine it up real good, and shove it up my candy.
Speaking of things getting shoved up,
there he is.
Down, you guys seen the new WrestleMania poster, aka starring Roman and Cody and a whole bunch of tiny people at the bottom who don't matter?
Why is Sami Zayn in the back?
Is this real?
That's real.
Why is Sami Zayn behind Logan Paul?
Wait a second.
You have to squint to see Sami Zayn, who is standing behind John Cena.
I just got blocked out of my own show. This poster.
John Cena and Logan Paul are standing in front of Sami.
Oh my God, you're right.
Barely see Sami Zayn, starring Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and all these other people.
Is that Uncle Howdy in the back?
No, it's no Uncle Howdy. No.
Who's that with the glasses?
That's Seth.
No. Seth is all the way to the right, isn't he?
No, Seth's in the back with it. No. Sorry, that's Snoop Dogg. That's Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is in the poster. Snoop Dogg's in the poster. Yeah. Los Angeles icon Snoop Dogg. It's true. He is a Los Angeles icon, but it's Snoop Dogg. Yeah. So just wanted
to come back on the show, please?
Saw that. Anyway.
I can't believe that's real.
No, it's totally real.
I thought that was like
that's
fan made.
No, that's official.
Nope, Sami's tucked in the back after carrying the company.
You mean to tell me that they're going to put a part-time celebrity, quote-unquote celebrity person like the Paul in front of these wrestlers who work 379,000 days a year? Okay, got it. Okay, I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah, also, least surprising thing ever.
Thanks, Kate.
Well, if it's not me, back on my own show.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Kate's Fightful evening.
Yeah. It's
Hey, Kate, I have a question for you.
What's that?
What did you think before Cody said, "I'm going to WWE," right? By that point, Roman has already held the title, like 600 days at that point? What did you think was the storyline then? If it wasn't going to be Cody?
I don't think they had any idea.
Right? Because
I think they would have brought up someone from. They might have tried to make Braun Breaker a star. So I don't think they had any idea.
Agreed. There you go. Okay.
Waiting on a big free agent.
Got it.
I don't think they had a clue. They kind of said as much as they didn't really have a plan because they didn't even admit that it was Cody when Cody came back.
I felt like obviously we knew Cody was going to come back in the Rumble. We knew he was going to win. But before it all became news, there was no clear picture at all to where Roman was going to take his championships to.
No, there really wasn't.
Well, I'm glad.
I don't think they had a thought about it.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to ask them.
And you know what? It's just rude. I don't like Pulowski having this much power. It makes me nervous. He knows too much. He's seen me do too much.
He sees everything.
It's not great. Hey, if you don't want anybody to see anything, you should probably use the best VPN in the business. If you don't want people hacking your connection, we have this guy Scripps who hacks us all the time when Alex is here. We've had a lot of issues with that. But if you want the best VPN in the game, if you want cheap reviews for cheaper because you're on vacation somewhere, darn it if NordVPN isn't the service for you.
NordVPN.com/Fightful. Block online trackers, annoying pop-up ads, unlock geo-blocked content. Maybe you missed the WWE Network. Maybe you want that AEW Plus. Maybe you want to subscribe to overseas services so you can get UFC pay-per-views at a reduced rate. Well, NordVPN.com/Fightful allows you to do that, and you can do it with 4 months for free with that link. Not only that, you get your 30-day money-back guarantee as well, just in case you don't like it for any reason. It works on all of your devices, so you can do this stuff wherever you are. Maybe you're on that unsecured Wi-Fi at the airport, the hotel. Yeah, it can be dangerous. Your info is at risk, but you can still gain access to all that stuff. Check out all of your favorite shows, or maybe shows you haven't discovered before, with NordVPN.com/Fightful, now with multiple tiers, so you can get whatever services that you want. NordVPN.com/Fightful.
And oh my gosh, while you're saving all that money on cheap pay-per-views, on your VPN discount, you can spend all of that money on the $1,500 subscriber tier at Fightful or Fightful Select for $5, best $5 in the biz. $10 tier also available with its perks as well. But not only do you get so much breaking news, I'm sure there's going to be more coming out of Revolution, as uneventful as AEW pay-per-views usually are, but you will get Alex Pulaski and I doing post-shows behind the paywall. You get select portions that Sean does now, which are great. They're basically tidbits that he hears, but probably aren't enough to blow out into a full story yet. Really, really good stuff there. You get the list and your boy goes on. You get Ask Rhapsody a few times. Really, really good stuff happening on Fightful Select. If you liked Sour Alex, you're going to get more of him with me behind there. You get every Monday, you get Sour Graps. Every Friday, you get an AEW Rampage watch along that's a review of SmackDown right before this. But that wasn't enough for Alex today. He said, that wasn't, I have all this sourness to share. So he came on for you people to share all of the sour, but we're always having a blast at Fightful Select. Please subscribe if you can. And hey, please leave a thumbs up on this video if you haven't already. We would appreciate it. Helps people find us in the algorithm that YouTube loves to mess up from time to time. Yeah. So we appreciate that. And get those super chats and humper chats in. We've got the go home show to Revolution. So thoughts on Revolution, thoughts on tonight's Rampage, feel free to share them. I thought that tonight's Rampage was kind of medium, considering how heavy they usually go with Rampages before a pay-per-view. And blessedly, because we have a 1 hour Iron Man Championship match, this is a little bit lighter card. Now, a lighter AEW card means less than like 47 matches, right? But this is a lighter card than usual. I thought they might kind of front load stuff onto Rampage here, but not the case. But not a bad episode. Your thoughts overall on Rampage?
Yeah, same. I felt the same thing as SmackDown. It wasn't as it was just mad to me today. I was like, okay, cool. I'm watching a wrestling show. You know how I know the show is I'm not that as engaged is when I'm tweeting more than watching.
Than watching.
And I was way more into tweeting and talking back with people back and forth than I was with being like more engaged with what's going on. Yeah.
I get that. You'll see me tweeting on Tuesdays a lot. It's hard. It's hard because the in-ring is oftentimes really good, but you know, it's either predictable or a schmonz ending. So it is hard to stay engaged in that way. But this was a fun Rampage. Again, not those live Rampages that we're used to seeing with the intensity and excitement, but it starts with a 4-pack that's probably going to be better, in my opinion, than the 4-pack we're going to get on the pay-per-view in the tag picture. We got Blackpool Combat Club, Top Flight, Aussie Open, in the Dark Order after we've been campaigning for them. Great to see them in action. Blackpool Combat Club winning and kind of a fun ending here. I definitely will say that about this match. I like how it ended. Aussie Open inadvertently bumping into each other, which was fun and kind of setting up Darius for that double clothesline. But this ends with the Dark Order delivering their back suplex, stunner, enziguri combo thing. And Wheeler Yuta just pushes John Silver out of the way to pick up the victory here. Very good heel work from Wheeler Yuta, and this really feels like Blackpool Combat Club is heel. Danielson is face going into Revolution. Going to be interesting to see what happens there, but this was perfectly fun 4-pack. I think the in-ring here was great, and I don't know, I like this better than I think I'm probably going to like the Guns, the Acclaimed, Danhausen and Orange Cassidy, God bless them, and Jay Lethal versus Jeff Jarrett on the pay-per-view, unfortunately, unless a certain returning tag team wipes somebody out. But what did you think of what we saw tonight?
Yeah, again, you usually start off super hot. This match was good, like great in-ring action, but it wasn't as hot as they usually are. So nice to see the Hungy back out there, and kind of seeing the Dark Order do their thing. Yeah, I don't know, it really didn't drive home anything that I thought was like, oh my god. So, and I just finished seeing ROH on Thursday, so I was like, okay, cool. Claudio's here.
ROH.
I know.
Excited.
It's like it's a love story that has broken our hearts many times.
It has, but it's here.
Always seems to come back, right?
Oh, baby, did it come back yesterday. I was so excited about what we saw. Very encouraging signs, but Kylie chiming in saying, I just got back from New South's Haas tournament night 1. That sounds
Hi, Kylie.
Sterling beat Sons of Bitches, as Sean Ross Apple say. It was a blast. I hope you all are doing well. Love you all. Well, thank you. You are.
We love you.
Supportive. Yeah.
Make sure you catch the beginning of the show later on. Kay has some important words for you and for everyone here. So if you're watching this now and you haven't watched the beginning, make sure you guys always rewind.
Appreciate that, brother.
No
Thank
problem.
you so much.
I got you.
Rerun telling us via Humper Chat that if this Rampage opener is the base of the ROH tag division, I'm ... all in.
Ooh.
Very well played. Very well played. I'm very intrigued to see what happens with that tag division, especially because the flag bearers of that tag division in ROH were Jay and Mark Briscoe.
Yeah.
I think you've got to line up for some sort of battle royal, some sort of tournament, some kind of cup that has tag teams from all over the world, I would hope. The best from New Japan, Impact, ROH, anybody who's available, I think, to do.
Excuse my ignorance on this ROH stuff. It was very hard for me to catch it up here in Jersey. Like, I always watched it when I used to go down to South Carolina. Mm-hmm. It would be on the CW down there, like on regular
like
TV.
2 a.m.
Yeah, I would turn it on and just watch it. So I wasn't a heavy fan. I knew of it, but somehow I just kind of missed it. But were the Briscoes there the long run of ROH? And were they the most decorated tag team in ROH? Or my two questions.
Not even close, brother. 13-time ROH tag champions. Mark Briscoe showed up at the beginning of ROH and he was too young to compete. That is how day one those guys are, which is pretty cool. They were that tag division. They were in a lot of ways. Reg and I talked about the absence of Jonathan Gresham a little bit yesterday. Yes, and it's definitely noticeable. But when you think of the generations of ROH from the CM Punk, El Generico, Kevin Steen days, and then that wave that happened with the Elite, and then the modern era that went through so much with everything that happened with Marty Scurll and COVID, they were there that entire time. So
to me, it would only seem fair that they retire the current belts and create a memorial to the tag teams using, Briscoe's name somehow. I think that would be a great way not to only honor them. Ring of Honor, see that? I'm putting it all together here.
The handshake,
see that? The handshake, see?
Honor's real.
But you create a tag team tournament, with their names on it. I think it would just be so cool to have that. And kind of it'll be emotional, I think, for him to probably step away from that role as a tag team champion and retire that championship. And I think it'll be emotional for all of us. Me watching and as a newer fan to ROH and in the last couple of years, but damn, I think it'll be cool to do something like that. You mentioned it just now, so that's why off the top of my head I was thinking.
Yeah, of course. And the other thing is, like, Mark has never navigated this without his brother, like, ever.
Right.
Jay had held the world championship by himself a little bit while Mark was injured. Yes. He had a little bit more solo work. So this for Mark especially is an entirely new wave. So I'm intrigued to see what happens there. Sure. But they've got a good foundation. They've got a good foundation going. Pun not intended, but now very intended with the foundation because they are in that tag division for sure. So
I'm so hyped that for the fact that Honor Club is back. Like everything's just kind of making sense, and it's good television.
By the way, at watchroh.com, I'm not getting a kickback from them. I'm telling you guys this for free. Before ROH had their television show, they had FTR versus Briscoes just available on watchroh.com, which I think was a really like subtle and nice way to honor the legacy there, and also a great opportunity to check out one of the best tag matches of all time. So worth the $9.99 right there if you ask me. But we move on to this Mox and Hangman video package. This has been one of the best feuds I think that we've seen from AEW in a while. It's felt personal. It's spanned over a few months, but some of that was we had a real injury in what I'm assuming is a kayfabe injury, right? Yeah. But they found a way to incorporate that. This is some of my favorite promo work that we've gotten out of Hangman. Mox is one of the best promos in the world. I'm looking forward to this match this weekend. Your thoughts on the video package here?
Really good. And you know what? Their story extends way back. Like they've been beating the hell out of each other, Hangman and Mox, for a while, way before there was any title pictures. Okay, people, like it was. It's cool to see how far, this long-term storytelling has been coming together for them too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of been fun to have Renee like at this pivot point too. Like they haven't gone too heavy-handed or overkill, but there's been kind of winks and nods along the way.
Do you think there'll be blood? I don't know. I know Mox doesn't really like
in a Texas death match.
Yeah, I don't think Mox really likes blood like that, and
not just like gushers. Like gushers coming out of his forehead.
Oh, God.
We also got a promo from Jack Perry revealing a last burial match. This is one that I feel like I'm a little conflicted about. I want to see this match. I'm intrigued by the last burial match. I also feel a little weird about the fact that we had a stipulation blow-off match to kind of where the core of this feud was already between Luchasaurus and Jack Perry. It does feel to me like we could have moved on from this, but they want to put the button on the Christian and Jungle Boy piece of it. I don't have a huge problem with that, but I think because so many other things get stuck in the mud, I'm kind of like, can we just move it along? But this will be fun. I'm excited for it. I think Jungle Boy having kind of pre-tape promos is a really good way for him to go. It just takes the nerves out of being a live promo. He's incredible in the ring. He's great in these pre-tapes. Not a bad promo, but a little bit more nervous, a little bit more awkward, I feel like, live. These pre-tapes, I feel like, are great, and the production around him was super fun here. Any thoughts on this?
Quick to the point. Quick and to the point. We love quickies here on Friday Night Post Show.
That's right, we do.
And I'll be damned if someone's going to take my quickie away. But yeah, let me tell you, the maturation of Jack Perry, incredible. I cannot wait to see where this his career continues to take him in AEW, because I'm really enjoying this work that he's doing here. This like pissed off, I'm gonna bury you, so since you love talking about my dad so much, I'm gonna bury you so you can go say hi to him. I'm like, whoa,
damn, yeah,
whoa, my dude, that hurt. I used to watch him on TV, dog.
Well, if he said it,
I know
we gotta accept, right? But
yes.
Agreed. Good stuff here. Hoping that I was thinking about this the other day, like the pillars have gotten kind of off track a little bit here. I feel like Jungle Boy's been kind of floating around in this feud. Sammy Guevara, for better or worse, has been Jericho's henchman. We got MJF obviously at the world title picture, but let's give our pillars a little something more to sink their teeth into. But we move along here with Big Money Riho. Louise has her labeled, defeating Emi Sakura, in which I thought was a great match. These more recent matches out of Riho I've liked a little bit more, because I think they're just agented a little bit more believably with some of her offense. She's very tiny. If you didn't know that, JR will point it out to you consistently over and over and over and over.
By God. Look at the size of this woman.
98 pounds soaking wet. But she's been using that a little bit better. Like I feel like that's one of Sasha Banks' biggest strengths. Is she's tiny, but her offense has so strategic and great, and she knows how to use her size a little bit more. This was super fun. Emi Sakura, obviously, not a surprise in the booking here. Emi's kind of there to eat losses, but put on great matches like this, and this was a really strong one. Hope Riho didn't hurt her with her hip bone. There was a weird spot near the turnbuckle where it looked like Emi's face or jaw hit it. But some good stuff in here. Early on, a really nice head scissors takedown. Really liked that. Riho winning with a fun sequence at the end here with the leg scissors rolling combo pin for the victory, but some fun action before that heading into that spot. Your thoughts on this match?
I'll tell you what, Riho, she pops, man. The crowd loves her. She came out. The crowd got up on their feet. They were yelling. They were screaming. They were into the match the entire time between her and Emi. I think that we talk about pillars and people who've been in AEW for a while. Riho's one of them, man. She might not be like a pillar, but I'm just saying, like, she's
day one and
she's a day oneer. She's been there. She's someone like me who had no idea who she was before. Watching her on mainstream television here in the United States through AEW has really made me love her. And I wrote that on Twitter today. I'm like, do I really love Riho? Yes, I'm in love with Riho. Just it's true, okay? Because she's actually really good, athletic, and she's been pinned against a lot of people that are, I mean, anyone could be bigger than her, but that are bigger than her, and she showed off, man. So good for her.
Joel Pearl saying 99 pounds. She's cutting, she's not on the pay-per-view, but she's trying to lean out over there.
Yeah.
Oh man. But a good solid match. Didn't really mean anything in the course of this episode, but that was kind of a lot of the stuff on today's episode, minus the backstages and the video packages. But we get a Jamie, Ruby, and Saraya video here. This is interesting because I would be surprised if Ruby won, but delighted. I would be happy if Jamie Hayter retained, and I would feel kind of mixed on if Saraya won, and I wouldn't be completely floored if any of the three things happened. So it's interesting. I really liked that in this video package, especially, like, Ruby Soho has been her own person. And for someone who was kind of booked to be waffling around a lot in AEW, not from an identity point, was it like she didn't know who she was? It was like they didn't know where she was or what to do with her. So having her not choosing sides and just being her own woman, I think has been really refreshing here. And then I've had some qualms with the way the story has gotten executed, but so much growth in this women's division. So great to see so many more people on my screen, so many more women on my screen. Really, really like the efforts that are being made, even if the execution isn't perfect. So I have less of a problem than a lot of people do with Saraya. I also have an attachment to her work because she was kind of in this beginning phase of the women's revolution when I started watching. Like, it was her and AJ Lee that kind of put things back on the map for women's wrestling at that point to me. But I could see this going any of the three ways. What were your thoughts on this video package? But what do you think's happening at Revolution with this?
I mean, I could be 10 billion% wrong here, but we're fantasy booking on fantasy, right? So for me, it's like, does Britt Baker finally show her jealousy and cost Hayter the belt? Or like, is there a moment between them two where they just kind of get into an argument and that's how they get the belt off of her? I really wouldn't want that because I think Hayter is so hot, figuratively and as a pro wrestler, that
everyone does.
that she exudes and you can feel it, that she is a champion. She comes out with that charisma and that toughness, and she, like, man, she talks the talk, that I want to see her be a champion a little bit longer. WWE doesn't do that. They flip belts more than AEW does. AEW, we know, like, they'll keep the belt on people for a while. So I think she retains somehow with some fugaziness, but we'll see.
Look, it's the simplest explanation is always the one you look to. Saraya's first promo, she says, "It's so great to have a boss who listens to me." Well, if if he listens to Saraya, what do you think Saraya is saying to him? Ruby is only in this match because they don't want Jamie to get pinned. Saraya pins Ruby. It's the worst possible option. Everyone hates it. We all move on.
That's why I'm not going with it, but you could be right, sir.
Love that he's like, listen up, kids.
That man gives me the hot tag and then leaves.
You know what though?
I'm sad. I don't want to see Hater lose. But do we think that we see a chase with Hater? That would be cool too. But I don't know. Like I'm just
I think you just have another top women's feud, like a high profile women's feud between Britt and Jamie for a little bit. Jamie could also go down and face Jade. It's one of the few people we haven't seen face Jade for a little bit. But we'll see. I actually don't hate any of the three options. My heart wants Ruby to go over. I do appreciate that. Like she was just on dark a bunch, not doing anything, and now she's in a title match. I would like to see her win that title match. I'm kind of bummed seeing her lose in big spots all the times, but we'll see. We'll see.
She can even take the TBS belt too. Put her in there. Throw her in there. Take the TBS belt away from Jade.
She lost to Jade in the
take her again.
Someone's gotta. Orlando Orrego saying, I'm so sorry for my white girl pronunciation.
Orlando Orrego.
There it is. Would you like it if Riho faces Jade? I would like it in that it's something I haven't seen yet. I think we're kind of at the end of the line of like, who does Jade?
Yeah.
Now there are people that are injured that could be on their way back. Layla Hirsch is one of them. Chris Statlander is like the person, but that was a pretty severe injury that Chris Statlander had. So if she's ready, that's awesome. I don't know if they could drag it out through the summer. If not, it feels like they've really dropped the ball after this baddie story on Jade. So I would like Rio to see it just because it's something I haven't seen before. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I told you before, I'm conflicted. I have no idea. And there's times where you definitely know a clear-cut winner in certain matches and who's going to be jumping in or what happens. I am so lost when it comes to these matches, and not in a bad way, in a good way. I am not sitting here with predictable thoughts. I have no idea what's happening, and I'm going to take it all in. Whatever happens, happens.
With Jade, it's starting to turn bad for me. Jade, I'm starting to lose faith that they know who's going to be the person to come in. I don't know if they thought they had Mercedes and they didn't. I don't know if Mercedes is surprising us, but it feels like, G-Bro saying, when Hater loses, you'd better have Riot Police. Can I interest you in some Fashion Police? Because I miss those guys on my screen. But we move along to RIP Serpentico. God bless you, Serpentico. Powerhouse Hobbs with the squashiest of all squashes in the history of squashing.
I get all hot and bothered when Powerhouse comes out, man. I'm just like, God damn it, man.
That torture rack, holy cow. And we get a nice promo after this too. Simple, predictable, but basically saying, I don't care if it's Wardlow or Samoa Joe. The next chapter in the book of Hobbs is me winning the title.
Yes.
I'm wondering if they're going to run back the triple threat, find a way to get there. I wouldn't hate it. It makes Sunday pretty interesting as far as Wardlow and Samoa Joe. I don't think Joe needs the belt. I think he's going to go do some awesome work in ROH, which I'm very excited about, selfishly. But intrigued. I think they make it a triple threat somehow. But what are your thoughts on this squishy squash, and what do you think is happening at Revolution for this?
I think I kind of like Powerhouse a little bit. I've told you before. And I have also mentioned that we need to see him in a TNT championship run, because that will tell you where he's going to go next, you know? And I think that if he wins this TNT championship, the Hobbs era is going to start. And the Book of Hobbs is going to start adding some incredible chapters, because this man, I don't want to see him running around with this giant Cheerio. I want to see him like get this Sonic ring, go get the belt, win it, and just run shop. Show the roster what you're really made of, because he has some other big meaty men that could come after him any day of the week.
I have wishful thinking booking around Starks and Jericho, and that is that Jericho says, I can't have the Jericho Appreciation Society at ringside, but I can have Jericho reunite. And Andretti cost Jericho the match by equalizing him in some way. And Starks wins again, and we actually move on. And then the feud pivots to Andretti versus Jericho. I think that could be really cool. And the reason I bring that up is because we still have like something kind of unresolved with Hobbs and Starks. That would be such a great next place for Starks to go, is to jump back into that feud, back into a title picture. I think that could be such fun. So those are my hopes. Jericho feuds tell me that'll last another 8 years, but I'm hopeful.
Jericho 65 still feuding with Starks over a shirt.
We got a Takeshita interview, which is interesting. He says that he came close again, but didn't win. And Don Callis appears, who's been clearly scouting him, clearly checking him out, burying Disco Inferno online about it, which is always fun. I'm intrigued. It's weird because Takeshita's so over, he doesn't need a mouthpiece. But I am intrigued by the idea of Don Callis and Takeshita. Something about that pairing works for me. I don't love all of Don Callis's work, but something just clicks with that for me.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that potential pairing?
Yeah, I think that I think that Callis could bring a lot of good out of matches with him. Not necessarily having to talk for himself. Even though, let me tell you something, Renee talking to him, it looked like it was such a comfortable conversation. Like the man could speak. The man could communicate with you. So maybe having Don Callis maybe con his way into, taking over him like Paul Bearer did with Undertaker, like having him, managing him and seeing where this goes, it could be fun, man,
Agreed. And Kenny Omega got so silly in his run, which was fun. But when they were like building the exploding deathmatch ring,
yes,
and, like Don Callis was leaning into all the silliness. I'm intrigued to see what like a straight up serious Don Callis with Takeshita would look like. So we will see what happens there. But we move along to Mark Briscoe's promo package here, which was really fun. He said like he was, down for the count, and he looked up and he saw something that warmed his heart. He saw two brothers. He saw the Lucha Brothers. Very cool to see the Lucha Brothers and Briscoe getting set up for Daivari, Nice, and Woods. If you don't know what Josh Woods is capable of, I encourage you to go check out his match yesterday with Takeshita. Holy cow. Not a pure rules match, but might as well have been. Super, super fun match. Can't believe it wasn't my match of the night. Almost disgusting that it wasn't.
He said, Mark, estamos contigo.
That's right.
Love it.
Good stuff here. Good stuff. So excited that. And we get a tag title package as well. Are you feeling more optimistic about this 4-pack than I am? Or nah?
This is... he has to know that people are shitting all over this tag team thing.
Two possibilities, right?
He has to know what's going on. And if he listens to fans and he reads Twitter as much as he does, and he's into the Reddit pages, he knows this is bad.
There's three possibilities. One, this match occurs as is, and the Guns retain, which is not great. Two, Orange Cassidy was selling the hell out of his ribs, and maybe he can't compete, so FTR comes in and does. 3, this is an FTR swerve move because FTR and CM Punk are coming to cost the Elite the titles. That's my most wishful thinking thing in the world, but just looking at the environment that they've set up, House of Black should win these titles either way, right? Having these three guys come back, the way they've been operating on social media to cost the Young Bucks, to cost Kenny, the titles that they were held for, like the ones that they fought for, the ones that they put on reserve, is interesting. If it's option 1, I want to barf. It's option 3, I'm gonna lose my mind. If it's option 2, that's fine, but I'm kind of like, why don't you just have a Joker in the Battle Royal? Then you could have sold tickets based off of FTR's presence in this. Yeah. I think they are like moves the needle kind of tag team. But so everybody's kind of in the same camp that this like isn't the greatest, right? I think we're all.
I mean, like you just mentioned.
Look.
Here we go.
Look.
You can just stay because we have the go home segment after this.
They're billionaires. And billionaires' kids aren't used to being told, hey, that idea you have sucks. Nobody tells them that. Okay? So he might seek it out on social media, but if he's not, he thinks he's the best. How many freaking Booker of the Year awards has he won by default because everyone else sucked so hard? Like he thinks all of his ideas are awesome and has since he was a child because no one's ever told him, little Richie Rich, that he ever made a mistake in his life.
Look, Alex, I want to cleanse the palate here, okay? I want to move on along to something that I know you're excited about, which is our main event of Keith Lee and Dustin.
Oh, dude, Parker Boudreaux's coming out party where everybody could tell he was the most talented guy in the ring by far, right?
Broadway Joe says, those crooks Keith and Dustin are lucky our hero Trench wasn't there to even the odds against justice. Hashtag Trench section. Oh my God, that made me laugh.
That was so bad.
Let's talk about the good and the bad of this. I'm going to give you a quick rundown kind of what happened here. Keith Lee winning with the Big Bang Catastrophe was great. We got a spot before this where he gorilla press slams Dustin onto Parker Boudreaux. A lot of really fun spots here with Keith Lee, just eating everybody. Why wouldn't you if you're Keith Lee? You can. My goodness, like what a tremendous wrestler. I've been on the side of this was such a hot feud. I wish they resolved it when they did. Like I wish this was a personal one-on-one thing between Swerve at the time that they heated up this feud. They're heating it back up, and I want to see that solo match, which is great. But I got no love for Parker Boudreaux at this point. Like it's just not. He's just not there yet. He's just not there and not going to get there or whatever. Like this isn't working. I don't feel like he's a TV wrestler.
He's abjectly bad. He's like people in the chat who's like, he's fine. You have such lowered expectations for him that if he meets them, then it's fine. It's not fine. He's bad. He's a 2 out of 10 wrestler. He's bad. And it only serves to show you how bad he is when he's in there against the veteran of all veterans, Dustin Rhodes, friggin' Keith Lee, who is the big man of all big men, and Swerve, who's an absolute friggin' megastar. I watched him come out there with Swerve, and I was like, there have to be 50 people who would be a better fit for this spot than Parker Boudreaux.
I don't get it.
Dressed as Ice Train from WCW. He had the same thing. Like he just went over and bought his singlet.
Well, he just he looked really lost in there today.
He did.
Like, he looked like a fish out of water, which makes me nervous because if you're in there with Dustin Rhodes and you're a fish out of water, yikes, that guy will give you everything. And he's as veteran and selfless as they come in the ring. Keith Lee is great to see work. I think he gives a lot of people really, really good matches, and to be under Swerve's wing and be this ill-prepared or ill-fitting in the ring, he's just not, to me, like TV ready yet, not to mention like in such a high-profile spot and what was one of my favorite feuds of last year that got postponed to this point kind of for this in a weird way. Like just does not work for me at all.
How many stars? I'm just curious from the both of you. If you guys were rating a star system based on whatever you want to base it on, if you had Dom versus Parker, boom, right now, how many stars? Seriously.
Is it in the Tokyo Dome?
Yes, it's in the Tokyo Dome.
Okay, well then 14.
They're in the climax or whatever.
They're in the G1 climax?
They're in the climax.
Oh no! Is this a G1 match? That's awful. You got like Tanahashi and Okada kicking around. Oh no. Oh no, Alex.
Parker, all Parker has is explosiveness, which is the number one thing Dominic lacks. So like I mean, I think Dominic probably could wrestle circles around Parker Boudreaux, which is saying something. But I want to talk about, Kate, how you said at the time when they cinder block stomped Keith Lee, why aren't you just doing the big match right now? And I was like, oh, no. This is how they work. They're going to put it off, and then they're going to heat it back up 2 weeks before Revolution, and we're going to get our big blow-off match at Revolution. Now that we're not doing that, I'm firmly in your camp. I have no idea why they didn't just do it then. This has to have the blow-off at St. Patrick's Day Slam or whatever, which is in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Because otherwise it's 3 months. We are March 3rd, and Double or Nothing happens at the end of May. That's 3 months of putting this off. Like Keith Lee, we got a Keith Lee versus Swerve exchange at one point where they were just like, Keith Lee was like, no, you're not going anywhere, and Swerve was like, I'm going to kick you in the face as hard as I can, and then Keith Lee was like, I'm going to pick you up as high as I possibly can and put you through the mat. And it was like 45 seconds. And I was like, why are we not getting 20 minutes of this 2 days from now?
That's my thing too, is I got a lot of people saying that of like, they'll heat this back up before Revolution. And while I understand that's how they work, you could switch up the playbook and just move on from a feud and have the match. Like, that's where I was, because it felt so personal. They had done such a good job of executing the story of, we're not on the same page as tag team partners. And then it was, whoa, we're not even using the same tactics. Like, you're willing to go to places I'm not.
Right.
And then it was, I can't even function with you here. And then it got so personal. Shane Taylor came back for that one promo and was like, shoot not Keith Lee. And then they kind of just dropped it. And I understand my whole thing with this was like, yeah, no, I get it. I just think it's a bad idea to cool it off when you are white hot. Like, sometimes I feel like you should just strike while the iron's hot. That's what I wish they did there. And then they put it off to do this. It's not scratching my itches.
They would have benefited from one of those. I'll tell you what, AEW cages are really dope. I love the AEW cages. They would have benefited from an AEW cage match. Have them locked in there and beat the crap out of each other. Like, this is personal. This is what you did to me. We are not coming out of here.
Keith Lee just throwing Swerve around in the
cage
would be a whole
lot of fun. I don't know how it ends or where it ends or whatever, but not having the goons being able to come in because of the cage, like, you have that blow off, and that's where WWE comes in. They'll have a blow off like that, where they'll put them in a cage. But damn, it would have been so great to see them. Maybe later down the road.
Salivating for it, and now I'm like, I can't wait to. I'm still excited to see a match between the two of them. But like,
there's no build up anymore.
Drooling.
It's just them. It's just them. Looking at each other. Wizard Keith Lee coming out.
Sith Lord Keith Lee.
Speaking of wizards, we do have Starks attacking Y2J in the main event go home piece of this, which is a thing that happened. And just to cap off Alex's sourness about Parker, they were like, "We're gonna give you Chris Jericho too."
Really?
But that is
Chris Jericho is the end of the show is this. They have given Jericho every excuse to lose. He's having a match in which he can't get Yas to come in and cheat. They're barred from ringside. They can't be there, right? So it's easy. Just have Ricky Starks beat him and you're done. He's got every excuse to lose. Oh, but they're not going to do that though, because Chris Jericho, because Floyd's not banned from ringside. The Bat. So that's been a central character in this whole feud has been Floyd the Bat. So he's gonna hit him. He's gonna hit him with a bat, and then he's gonna win. Or there'll be a ref bump, and Sammy Guevara will come down while the ref is knocked out, and yes, he's barred from ringside, but only if the ref sees him. So Chris Jericho is absolutely winning this match, and they're not going to have the blow off to this feud until Double or Nothing as well.
Long-term booking power.
They didn't say everybody's banned. They said Jazz is banned. So we'll see how that comes into play. But we did have one other chat when you pulled up that poster and you kicked me off my own stream, Alex.
Oh, yes? Yeah.
Call it now, Logan Paul, Mr. Money in the Bank for 2024. That makes me want to barf.
Yeah.
I can't rule
adrenaline in my soul. Something. Oh, whoa.
Yep.
But that's your go home. That's your go home to Revolution. We've got so much more coming up for you this weekend here at Fightful. You got Grab City tomorrow, and then on Sunday, you got the pre-show. You got a Fightful pre-show for Revolution. You've got post-show on the main with Sean Ross Sapp and Julie Cutler, and you've got me. And if you skip one, Alex, and go to the next, we're gonna be doing the Fightful Select. There you go. Fightful Select post show for you over there. If you liked what you saw tonight, you'll get more of it on FightfulSelect.com. But we'll go Pulowski plugs, Cardoza plugs, and then I'll wrap us up.
Hey, we do this new thing over at Know Your News every Friday at noon Eastern for your lunch break, or if you're on the Pacific time, wake up. And listen to us crap all over a movie. This week we did Theodore Rex, which is a really, 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 really bad movie. I don't know what we're doing next week, but it can't be as bad as a movie that Whoopi Goldberg sued the producers so she wouldn't have to star in it. But it's fun. But they said, the judge said, no, you did verbally agree to be in the movie. However, I've seen the script. It's so bad they have to pay you an extra $2 million. That was the settlement that they agreed to. So that's how bad the movie is. But anyway, it's a lot of fun to talk about it. Yes, cookies. That's an inside joke from Theodore Rex. So every Monday on Fightful Select, Kate and I talk about Raw. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than watching Raw. I'll tell you that. And then Tuesdays, it's NXT and NXT Roadblock. On the road to WrestleMania is on Tuesday. So come in and watch that. Well, we'll talk about how great all of the in-ring was and how we really praise the wrestlers and how terrible and nonsensical all of the booking choices were.
Right. And then Wednesdays you have the AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, Wednesdays I talk. Sean lets me talk sometimes about things with.
Sean lets me talk sometimes. Cardoza, plug your way out of here.
Hey man, you can find me on the Instagrams. Just check for Alexis Cardoza Together, and on Twitter _Alexis Cardoza. And I'll be posting all the projects I'm working on there, and they'll be fun. So keep an eye out for them.
Oops, the plugs are gonna be long because I don't have a day off till Saturday.
Wow.
I've got Excite Wrestling commentary tomorrow. Twitch.tv/Excite Wrestling, or just regular / I think. LSG versus young up-and-comer Bobby Fish is your main event over there. So check that out. Mondays, as Alex said, joining him behind the paywall at Fightful Select for the Sour Grabs post show. Tuesdays on the main channel, NXT post show. Wednesdays at Mark Order Pod. Thursdays, looks like our ROH show is going to be sticking around because your support was so incredible this week. So thank you for that. Fridays right back here, and Saturday, I'm going to sleep real well, you guys, but we hope you have a safe and wonderful weekend. Enjoy Revolution if you are watching. We appreciate your support as always. Check out Alexis's QR code for more. Have a great weekend. We're out of here.